CJ, what's it mean to you to be here in Atlanta to represent Georgia and to be part of media days?
It means a lot to represent my team, University of Georgia, just to be here. Something I always dreamed of. In my freshman year, being able to be here one day and represent our team.
You guys have been busy in the summer, workouts 7-on-7. What have you seen from Gunner during that time as you guys have been kind of tasked with slowing him down on those 7-on-7?
I think he always been, he's been always a great competitor, and just taking up his leadership role. I hear him out there a lot more.
What's been your early impressions of Elo as he's gotten to Georgia and kind of got settled in?
For sure, I think Elo, he's a great person. He's a great guy, but I think just want to learn the defense. He actually wants to learn. He asks some questions and things like that. So it's kind of big for me.
When you look at the defense this year, you guys bring talent back. Obviously, lost some guys to the NFL. What do you feel like is the biggest thing you guys have to focus on as a defense once fall camp gets started?
I think just taking things like step by step, day by day, and be with our feet and stay disciplined, and just continue to work hard, not listen to the outside noise, just stay here and play ball.
You guys, Dalen, Christian Miller have gotten some preseason All-SEC buzz. Do you pay attention to getting selected to those teams? Does that mean anything to you to get that kind of recognition?
I mean, obviously, I wouldn't say it don't mean nothing. It's a blessing to be able to recognize. But whether you're selected or you're not, you still got to play ball. Whether you're the number 1 or number 10, you got to play ball. So I don't have a Twitter, so I really don't too much keep up with all that. But you got to play ball at the end of the day.
Kind of at the same time, there's not a lot of the offensive guys getting that kind of attention. Do you think people outside of Georgia might be overlooking what you guys have on offense?
I definitely think we got some great guys on offense, great weapons, great people, and things like that. But like I say, it doesn't matter whether they're selected or not. You got to go out there and play ball and scrap it up.
Nate Frazier posted some workout videos of him this summer as a linebacker. Yeah. Just tell me what it's like trying to stop him when he gets the ball.
And I think Nate, he's a very quick running back. He's a great competitor. We compete, so I think just having him on the other side of the ball is kind of great for me. It gets me better.
You guys went to Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss last year. This year you got Tennessee on the road. You got Auburn on the road. Which of those two games do you think is going to be the toughest for Georgia this year?
I think any one of them, any given Saturday, we just focus on one game at a time, and that's the first one.
How tough is it really to win on the road in the SEC? I mean, you guys won at Texas, a very hostile environment. They threw things at you guys, or the refs, I guess. I don't know who they were throwing it at, but versus at home where you guys haven't lost since you've been here, obviously, and for a long time before that.
No doubt. I think it's the SEC, so that kind of speaks for itself. Being in the SEC and being on the road is hard no matter who you play. So I think with that, the fans and just the SEC title, I think that kind of holds its own weight.
Conversely, how important is it to keep that zero in terms of losses at home at the end of the season? It's going to be tough with Alabama, with Ole Miss, with Texas coming to town, and 2019 was the last time Georgia lost at home. How much better is it to have those games at home versus on the road last year?
No, it's great to have those games at home. I say, but we just taking game by game, one game at a time. Not kind of just focusing on that. Just focus on doing our job and handling our business.
What do you make of that winning streak at home?
Sorry.
What do you make of the winning streak at home? It's been a long time since Georgia lost at home.
I think it's very nice to know that, and obviously it's something we want to keep doing or not, but we just focus on winning,
What are your early impressions of Josh McCray?
I think Josh McCray is a huge back. He's a very huge back. He can move also, but I think he's a funny guy. He's a great guy. We sit next to each other in the team meeting. So just being able to just know him, he's also my neighbor. So he's a funny guy.
Kind of going back to being a defender, what's that like going against the backfield with a guy like Nate, with Josh McCray, running backs that can do a little bit of different things when they're out there?
No doubt. I think with those two guys being totally different in terms of size, I think it kind of just prepare you for any back you kind of faces through the season. So I think there'll be some great bats for us during the season to be able just to go which either way.
You guys obviously, didn't make the playoff 2 years ago. Last year, didn't win in the playoff. Kind of how hungry is this team to get back to, where it was a couple of years ago when they were winning national titles?
Win, lose, or draw, I think we're always hungry to get back to that. Whether we won it all, lost it all, we're always hungry to get back to that standard.
CJ, has anyone in particular stood out to you through summer workouts, 7-on-7, someone that you feel like has really kind of separated themselves this summer?
For sure, we definitely have a lot of guys that kind of just stepped up a little bit in the leadership role. Also, I think it's the biggest thing. We got a lot of guys that kind of stepped up in the leadership role.
As far as that goes, who are some people who stepped up as leaders?
Like a lot of the guys, each one guy leading their position and things like that.
Gunner's got one start at Georgia, but Kirby brought him here. What do you make of what he means to the team? And is that kind of saying something you think about? He's one of the faces of our program.
I think definitely Gunner is definitely an important person on the team because he's on the team. It's our teammate. So any guys on our team is important.
CJ, Jalen Walker wore some different hats for you guys: pass rush, off ball, all that stuff. Anybody in your room that can bring that same skill set to the table, kind of offset what you lost there with him moving on to the NFL?
No doubt. I think with Jalen Walker, he's gone, so we can't really use him to win this season. I think as a team, we kind of just got to step it up and understand that there was a lot of reps that's out there, and someone got to take them.
Is there anybody specific that you think can kind of do some of the same things that he did for you?
I think the defense as a whole can just come in and do things like that.
What's the talent level on this team? Do you think after losing, another big wave of draft picks, is it kind of always just reload, or is there some questions, especially with the portal guys, take off and how much depth there is? What's the quality of what this Bulldog team looks like?
We're not focused on who we lost to the draft or not. We just focused on this team and kind of just being with our feet or continue to work hard.